Hello, MPS. It's your girl, Renice Washington, aka Wellness Queen. And today we're gonna be exploring. Okay, we know goals are great, we know a mental health routine is great, but why the beginning of the year? Let's get into it. So when it comes to prioritizing our mental health, you want to do it all year long, right? Like we need it at the top and at the bottom of the year. But in particular, when it comes to a new school year, it's imperative that we at least have a path or an outline of where our journey leads, because about time October comes mid to end, we're already so deep into it that we might not necessarily have time to create a plan. It's never too late, but we want to be prepared for what we might come across. Now, when it comes to my own mental health, some people might think, but you're a wellness queen. What other supports do you need? But the truth of the matter is I'm not perfect, and that's not ever the aim. I do want to be healthy. So this year, I'm really looking on some better coping strategies for when I feel embarrassed, because re-rate might come out if those feelings aren't registered. But Renice, I hope, will show up in moments to understand that embarrassment happens. And sometimes we don't always feel like the most top-notch person, but that doesn't mean we don't have value. So we can experience negative emotions, but the work I want to do is how do I process that and still feel like I have value. SMART goals are so necessary for our mental health priorities because we want to make sure that not only are we setting goals, but we have a way to get there. So we start with S, right? We need them to be specific. I talked about coping strategies for when I feel embarrassed. Measurable, I mean in the sense of, am I responding or reacting better than I did before than I do now? Achievable, how we make our goals achievable. I know that I have coping strategies. I'm not saying to never be embarrassed again. I'm just saying how I process and deal with them. Relevant, it being relevant, I mean right now I am doing an internship, and while I might be a little smarty pants here in that area concerning clinical work, it's new for me, so I feel embarrassed, and so it's relevant on occasion and time sensitive. I mean, I don't need to get it done right now, but it's something that I need to work on progressively. So by being specific and measurable and achievable and relevant and time bound, that's how we help our goals be more effective and efficient. So when it comes to our mental health goals, we can do some daily or weekly things, right? It's not necessarily get everything done. I mean, daily, we could do our best to practice gratitude, right? Which doesn't mean that everything is okay, but dang it, in the moment where I'm at right now, is everything okay? I can't account for the past and I can't account for the future, but today, am I doing my best to show up? I think also being accountable to yourself and to others, right? Accountability buddies, which I'll be speaking about later, are helpful. Someone who's gonna hold us to task, like, hey, sir, ma'am, we need to get this done. And I know that you deserve to be invested in, so let's go ahead and get this done. And honestly, another thing that I think is helpful for our mental health is just taking a breather. I know it feels like that email has to be done now, that plan has to be done now. In certain cases, it does. But where we can take a breath, are you choosing to take that breath and reflect and to pause? Or are you feeling like you have to do it all, which is not sustainable or consistently attainable? So are you allowing yourself some grace? These are some of the ways that I think could be helpful for how we practice and make sure that we have room for our mental health routine. But it's hard work, but it's work you deserve to be invested in.